Cabinet has also decided that to ensure the transition to the new system is as smooth as possible and to iron out any issues with the use of vaccine passes in advance of the whole country moving, we will undertake a trial period by allowing hairdressers and barbers in Auckland to open from this Thursday, November the 25th, so long as they require proof of vaccination from customers. This means fully vaccinated Aucklanders can get their haircut so long as they present their My Vaccine Pass. We'll be posting and sending out detailed sector guidance, but in short, hairdressers will need to operate with vaccine passes, take bookings only, so no walk-ins. That means that we can ensure we don't have large amounts of congestion. Staff must also be fully vaccinated, and they must operate broadly as they do under Alert Level 2, which they'll be familiar with staff wearing masks and putting in place 1 metre distancing between chairs. Customers can remove their masks during their cut. Again, familiar settings to all of us from Alert Level 2. We've chosen hairdressers to trial vaccine passes because out of all of the venues still closed, they pose the lowest risk by reopening. There are fewer staff employed. Generally, numbers in the space are constrained by the number of chairs and hairdressers available, and distancing between customers can be easily maintained. I know this will offer some relief for the sector and customers. Most importantly, it offers us a decent trial of the vaccine pass in advance of that date of the 3rd of December. So far, 1.2 million people have already downloaded their vaccine pass, which is great, but I encourage everyone to grab theirs and prepare now for the movement into the new framework.
Oh, wow. Yeah, and this article was just over a month ago, and yes, people, and they weren't joking. Just like me, I've been saying this was come, and it has came, and I probably had played this one before. I just like to play it because to show the proof if that's it, because to know that well, if you actually want to work, you have to have a pass, a V pass. If you want to get, like say, if you want to get your hair cut or something, you have to have a V pass. Yeah, and from December 3rd, that was like about 24 days. If you say you want to go and have a coffee and that, and have breakfast at a cafeteria or so, you have to have a V pass. If you want to go to a pub, you have to have a V pass. And man, of course, businesses and the leaders and operators and that, they also have to have a V pass. And yeah, well, then it says that, that was it. Yeah, 23rd November, it says businesses face 15K fine for failing to enforce a vaccine pass. That's 15K New Zealand. I'm going to probably put that in US dollars. Convert. Yeah, which is about 10,224 US dollars. So many businesses will get fined 10,000 US dollars if they sort of don't go along with that. So 15,000 New Zealand. Yeah, 15,000 New Zealand dollars, which will be about 10.2 thousand US dollars. So wow. And they say round here, the workers covered by My Vaccine Pass will need to have their first dose by December 3rd and be fully by January 17th, and that's when they will start coming for your kids. Yeah, they will be coming for your kids. They announced it. Yeah, people, we had to push back. Yeah, and there's a far from It's Just Me. I'm going to watch a bit of it.
Kia ora, g'day, Cal here for Is It Just Me in New Zealand. As most of you know, I'm a pastor of a wee Baptist church here, and had some interesting news in the New Zealand Herald this morning that directly impacts me and other church leaders. According to the New Zealand Herald, that says churches are being caught by surprise by this new legislation from the government. All church leaders are supposed to have received the mRNA experimental jab by the 3rd of December. Otherwise, they face a $15,000 fine. Did you hear that? So now the government has really notched things up a level and saying that it will be illegal for church leaders to perform their roles as church leaders if they are unjabbed by December the 3rd, coming up in about a week's time. Otherwise, they receive a $15,000 fine. Well, I've got a message for Jacinda Ardern, Chris Hipkins, Ashley Bloomfield, Andrew Little, and any other of their cronies. Get your nose out of God's business. God has a message for them from His Word that says, God is not mocked.
Yeah, and exactly, shall not be mocked. Yeah, Mother Nature shall not be mocked. Yeah, nature shall not be mocked, and exactly, whatever you believe in though, if you're a Christian, Muslim or Buddhist, whatever you are, or even atheist or so, whatever you believe, man, it should be up to you. No jab should never be enforced. Because, man, they are really threatening businesses with fines. And, yeah, they say, my vax fast mandate had catch church by surprise. Yep. That's why it's just me. It's just me, New Zealand. And he mentioned that it was also in the New Zealand Herald, but I also found it in New Zealand Talk ZB, and yeah, they say, oh, you gotta get your jab, or I'm gonna hit you with the 15k fine. Just get the jab, or I'm hitting you with the 15k fine, businesses, or churches, or what religious service you hold. Get your jab, or you'll be fined. Gosh. Yep. And of course, and there's a gym that's been getting fined 12,000 New Zealand dollar fine, yeah, New Zealand dollars fine, and for not meeting the requirement of the jab, not meeting the jab requirement. Yeah. Yeah. Because it says martial arts and fitness, and yeah, it says martial arts and would be paid for allowing unvaccinated judge to continue working there. Oh gosh, people, they actually like say, oh, discriminate or we're gonna find you. It's just like they're trying to force them to discriminate. That is really insane, people. And I just hope those people do fight back and look like they are. And I've got the snapshot from Facebook here. It says that MMA gym fighting back against the mandate, and they may manage to raise around 40k, yeah, 40,000k, and which is probably like quite a lot. It's probably like, if you calculate, that's almost like an average of $50 each donor. On average, yeah. Well, Chrissy and Steve, I just hope you win this and fight against this insane mandate, people, because it is just really ridiculous. And yeah, and soon it's going to be going on to individuals as well, not just businesses. And which I ain't going to go to the mirror world there for Max Egan, and
And 7 News.
Yeah, so undoubtedly lockdowns looming for Christmas, folks. Happening in the UK.
Yeah! Yeah! Let's go! Use the one to us! Yeah!
And the EU.
Man, they were just singing that over in the stadium. Oh, good on those people. Good on them. Oh, yeah. Just love it. It really gets your spirit up.
There's all sorts of fights for freedom going on there. The people in the EU are really facing some desperate times and they're pushing back.
Well, they're living under lockdown with no full access to society or jobs. They're also facing fines and even jail. That's what the unvaccinated are up against in many European countries, and the backlash is growing.
I'm not allowed to
Yeah, and that's also happening in New Zealand.
work anywhere anymore, really, without providing a proof of vaccination or recovery.
Well, there's also no more privacy. Like, you go into the bakery and the cashier will loudly ask you for your vaccine pass if you want to go have a cup of coffee.
So are you vaccinated?
No, like, very loudly. The discrimination is terrible.
It's a similar story across Europe. In Italy,
Zealand.
the unvaccinated now must take a COVID test every 48 hours if they want to live a free life. Gunnar Beck, a German member of the European Parliament, calls Europe's COVID policies dangerously authoritarian.
I mean, we're not talking about the Black Death here. I'm not even sure the Black Death would warrant the effective suspension of the rule of law, constitutional government and democracy.
Austria is ground zero for the world's toughest COVID policy.
Yeah, in Austria they are facing fines there. Yeah, lockdowns and fines. Europe cracked down on the unvaccinated. See. Well, look at that. Yeah. Yeah, German crackdown there. Yeah, even Greeks. Yeah, they're actually finding our leads for not anyone who's above 60 of their age who's €100 fine. Well, I guess it'll be $150 New Zealand dollars. Gosh. And the travel ban there. Yeah, gosh. Yeah. Or even the USA. Yeah, US President Joe Biden nation is issuing emergency warning large private employees require vaccination or regular testing. Labor Department said it will mandate to apply to companies with 100 or more employees to set a 4th of January deadline. Failed to comply could face fines of $136K US dollars. Yeah, gosh, this is this is definitely medical tyranny, though. And that's over Germany, people. I'm gonna probably say hello in German. Hello, Deutschland. Hello, Deutschland. Yet protesters believe the restrictions are infringing. It actually are infringing people's freedom. You don't even have to believe it. It actually are. So they say they believe. Well, they actually are infringing on people's freedom. They actually are. It is a fact. If you're still gonna like undermine people's freedom with those restrictions, that yeah, you are undermining people's freedom. Yeah, now back to the Max Egan.
The unvaccinated have already been in lockdown for almost a month. And next year will have to pay $4,000 in fines every 3 months unless they not only get vaccinated, but get booster shots.
There was a great pushback we saw at Ormo on the Gold Coast yesterday.
Yeah, we're gonna be getting to that, and yes, over in Europe, I heard like over in Austria. Yeah, and if you saw it not like jab or something though, you get like a 3,600,000 euro fines. Yeah. Well, and I know what I just said in German. It says "Hello Deutschland." Yeah, means "Hello Germany." I know some few words in German. Oh, a few words, and these are one of the few words. So. So I hope they all doing good, fighting the good fight, because we definitely need to push back, and we need to get together.
North of the Gold Coast, just north of where I live in Queensland, there was a small cafe that they were threatening on closing this cafe, and Tricky and the People's Revolution guys got together and formed a tyranny response team at the cafe.
They stand at ease, and when they come, link arms. As soon as they get out the car, look at them in the eyes and link arms to make it look like they're serious. They've turned off down the side street here, guys, so we might just give them, we might just put another scope out. That's good practice either way. Hey? Just drove past again down the other way. That's an unmarked car, eh?
Probably looking for a place to park. They might do buck runs all day.
It's alright, good exercise. Can somebody get a photo of that so I can send it to me?
That sort of stuff's really good to see as well, folks, and good on them for doing so. Tyranny response team, nice touch.
Yeah, people, and this is part of the solution, but there's also a better solution, is that we don't comply to their mandate. We don't comply and this is the best peaceful way of pushing back as non-compliance. And this is all we got is non-compliance. And here in New Zealand, we need to do that, because if we don't comply, Ardern will not be able to continue on her agenda. And non-compliance is the best way to push back peacefully. And yeah, and there is over in Bloomberg, yeah. Yeah, Australia refused to get the corona vaccine, face fines up to 3,600 euros, which is about 4,000 US dollars. And upon my guess is around almost around almost 6,000 New Zealand dollars. Might have to go to that, check it out. Yeah, no, it's about $5,800. Wow, yeah, people, wow. Yeah. Imagine that when that comes here in New Zealand, and I bet it's gonna come. Cause, yeah, cause it's their plan, and of course, yeah, Queensland face hefty fines and jail for breaching COVID rules. Yep. This is what New Zealand are doing, and Australians are doing it, and who the fine could face up to 13,800,000 Australian dollars, which is probably a bit less than in New Zealand. Yeah, if you put in New Zealand dollars, it is a bit less than that. So people, man, for example, like, but maybe say police, if anyone or business, for example, a coffee shop, deliberately tries to breach new requirements for vaccine venues, these actions will be taken. Could face a penalty up to 100 penalty units, which is about $13,800 $13,800 fine in Australian dollars, people, or 6 months in prison. Wow, people, wow. But that's also in Northern Territory. Yeah, unvaccinated Northern Territory worker face $5,000 fine in workplace and banned switching new rules. Yeah, people, it is happening all across the world, people. It really is. And we need to push back. And before we actually go to it, I'm going to go to the article from National News. This is from the 31st of May 2021. It's been written by Mike Adams, the health ranger, and he's been doing research about it, like we're 5 phases of vaccine. We are currently in phase 3, and the last phase involved door-to-door arrest those who refuse the spike protein injection. It is just, and let's go. I'm going to go through them. Phase 1, voluntary. Phase 2, incentives. Phase 3, private sector punishment. In New Zealand, we are currently at that now. And Phase 4, and there'll be countries that are actually at that now. We see that around Europe now. They're actually at Phase 4. And connect, man, these military, that's when they will really come at gunpoint. And man, this is really, and I bet those times will come in New Zealand. And we are, in New Zealand, we are actually at Phase 3 now. We're at there. To do all, like, such as air travel, for restaurants, sport events and that though. Yeah, it is really, people, was the solution. Well, I just said it before. The best solution is non-compliance. We do not comply to their mandates. Because if we don't comply to it, if a lot of people start not complying, they can't push their agenda. They won't be able to roll it out and that. And that is the best and peaceful way of fighting them, is non-compliance. Protests may help a bit though, but the only thing that ever achieved is solidarity. That's the only thing that ever achieved is solidarity, and also talking to each other and sharing ideas. That's why they don't want us talking to each other. That's why they want to isolate us. That's their plan, people. They want to isolate us. And yeah, talking to each other and sharing ideas and solutions and that. And that's what's going to help us beat them. And yet that's going to help us to push back. If people start going protesting, but they instead like just start talking to each other, going to parks and that. And man, we can beat this, people. We can win this. And we shall win this. We shall. And people, we shall make New Zealand a better place, a freer country. We also got to take down this old system. And yes, it's going to be taking down the old system. And yes, we are going to be putting in a new system. Just like Carl Schaff, they want things done their way. They want the Great Reset happen their way. So let's bring in a reset that's going to be done our way, not theirs. And we can actually do it peacefully. We just don't comply, and we can talk to each other, we can share ideas. That's why they're telling us don't talk to each other. Even Arjun said that. Don't talk to your neighbours. Well, I think that's all I gotta say for now. I'll say, people, I hope you all had a good Christmas. I hope you all been driving safely on the roads. Not getting into any accidents and that, man. Because that's the last thing we want, is accidents on the road. That's the last thing we want. Say it again. Because we all want people to enjoy a safe and happy holiday. As well as a safe, happy Christmas though. I hope you all... Yeah, because with the New Year's coming on, and man, look like 2022 is going to be a really interesting year, man. It's the year that we do push back, and we will... Today, we can make the year that we can remember it. And let's make it happen, people. Let's win this war. And that's all I gotta say for now. It's Matthew Miller, that Manuel Kiwi, signing off, over and out.